Descent Podcast.
Okay, and we're live.
Awesome. Let's do it.
So we should introduce ourselves. So this is Matthew talking, and I'm with Rizzle on the other end.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited to be here. First time on the You Deserve a Drink podcast.
Very cool. I'm glad to have a co-host partner in crime. Feels much better. So what did you want to talk about?
I feel like what generated the most buzz from our previous conversation was the VR aspect of, sort of what you had in mind with Scent. And then also, I feel like that plays right in with a lot of the crypto art. You had mentioned right before we went live here that you bought a plot of land in CryptoVoxels. And I haven't had a ton of time to play around with it. I did a little bit, and I'll tell you what I think about it, but I'm interested in what your thoughts are, because the plots of land aren't cheap. So you obviously are a believer in this, or think you're going to be able to flip it for a ton of money or something down the line. But the concept is fascinating. I got to check out briefly No Shot's 3-dimensional maze. Did you see this?
Yeah, of course. I think I included that in my body bound too.
Oh, good. I mean, it blew my mind, right? I'm like, oh my God, here we go. So tell me your thoughts on CryptoVoxels. I sort of have like mixed feelings about it, but overall it's like a fascinating platform.
Yeah, so I've been tracking the project for a little bit because you mentioned like the plots of land aren't cheap, or at least the plots of land that are listed on like OpenSea. You can see like some of the plots are listed at like 17 ETH and things like that. So it's a little like off-putting for someone that initially comes across it. But I've noticed that for a lot of the plots, you can submit a bid for a much lower amount. And as long as the person that owns that plot is active and sees your bid, a lot of times the owners sell their plots for much less. But there's a lot of friction there, and there's a lot of people that are just not active that own plots. And it seems like you can submit bids for like a week and no one notices. But luckily, yesterday on Scent, there's a new user. His name's Skeeny, Skeennee. I actually first came across this guy in CryptoVoxels. I saw his plot, and he has a really interesting, like dark skull themed gallery. And he just joined Scent yesterday. And I let him know. I was like, oh man, I have a bid in for like my ideal plot, but it's not going through. But Skeeny had some inside knowledge that I guess today was the day that whoever's running CryptoVoxel was just going to release a lot of new plots.
I saw that. Yeah, I must have seen the same post. Yeah, and that's what led me to check out the pricing. And I was still like, it's certainly cheaper than 17 ETH, but at least the starting price is right around like half an ETH or a little bit more.
Yeah,
but I mean, clearly this is like an up and coming thing. So you got a lucky bid in. Is that sort of how you fell into it?
Well, I had a bid in at around like 0.8 ETH. It was definitely on the high end. I was looking at a plot that would allow me to build rather high. I have something in the works for like a really high build. Anyway, the owner of the plot that I bid for, they weren't responding, but luckily today I saw something for like half of that. So around 0.4 ETH.
Nice. Not
cheap, but also like not as much as I was going to waste before. So I just bought it outright. So a lot of the listed prices, if you just pay that, you'll get ownership of that plot of land. I'm imagining I'll create like a gallery for not just the work that I collect personally, but hopefully a bunch of the other crypto artists that are hopping onto Scent.
Oh, cool. That seems like a genius idea. So if I understand correctly, Decentraland is the other big blockchain, somewhat similar to CryptoVoxels in terms of it being like a VR world. But if I understand correctly from someone else's post, it might have been this same guy I was reading the comments that you're talking about. The big difference is you need like legit programming skills to do something in Decentraland, but CryptoVoxels is more of like a Minecraft style build type of thing.
CryptoVoxels is definitely more Minecraft style. Decentraland, when I've seen all the trailers, and it strikes me as, what is that popular game today? Like all the kids are playing, running around, like shooting people. It's super popular. They're doing a bunch of dances.
Oh, Fortnite?
Fortnite. Yeah, it strikes me. I mean, graphically, it looks a lot like Fortnite, but I'm not sure how you build the world out. I don't know like what their editor situation's like. They both seem similar in the sense that you can utilize NFTs. Like, for example, if you have a bunch of crypto art, you can display it in Decentraland amongst other things that you can do. Whereas like in CryptoVoxels, displaying NFTs or like writing basic text or inserting a podcast, your range of actions are much more limited in CryptoVoxels. Decentraland definitely seems to be a whole lot deeper and richer of a world.
Do you know of any like so when I joined Scent, like the VR art galleries like totally blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know how I didn't think that this was going to become a thing, but it like, really, I mean, in a lot of ways is pushing like the art scene in a new direction or splitting off or whatever, and it's fascinating. Are there other like VR art galleries that are not blockchain based that are competitors with this? Like are all these people also somewhere else, like aside from CryptoVoxels too, or is this really like the pioneering thing in this space?
Yeah, I haven't come across anything else like this. Like, I know that there's other projects in the space that allow artists to feature their work or mint their work as NFTs, as crypto art. But in terms of like the VR aspect, the VR gallery, I do not think there are any other projects in the space doing what CryptoVoxels is doing and then what Decentraland probably will also do.
Yeah, all I know is it's like constantly on the top revenue generators of OpenSea and everything. So I'm like, someone's buying this shit, right? Or is thinking it's going to be something at some point. CryptoVoxels, the idea that everyone can sort of set up shop. I saw MLibT's skate shop open up and everything in CryptoVoxels.
MLibT has like 5 different plots. He's a madman in CryptoVoxels.
He's all in, huh?
Yeah, and he has like some public plots, and there's a couple plots that he has like private secret access for like a digital workspace or digital gallery, like
Whoa.
for I guess works in progress. Yeah, it's like he's taking it to the next level. I love MLibT. He's awesome.
Yeah, I mean his artwork is really awesome, and I don't know, you know me, man. I like anyone who's like pushing the bounds of anything is really interesting to me, and this totally seems like this is. I think I said it to Connie Digital a while ago. I'm like, when I want to blow people's minds who aren't like super into crypto or tech, I tell them about VR art galleries, and 10 out of 10 times people are like, "Whoa," it's just so cutting edge and everything that I do feel like it's one of these things you get in early and you're one of the beginning people and you're going to do just fine as this sort of fleshes out and evolves. The biggest put off to me of CryptoVoxels, when the first time I really explored it was with the 3-dimensional maze and everything. And I immediately had a flashback of like James Bond or GoldenEye 007 game for Nintendo 64. I don't know if you ever played that or whatever,
Yes,
but
yes, of course.
the super like pixelated viewpoint combined with the controls just happen to function like very much the same. I felt like I should have like some weapon in CryptoVoxels, but then as you get closer, you're like sort of what is that from far away, and you get closer and it's actually like the art itself is very high resolution. So, I guess it got me thinking, I'm like, is this like the GoldenEye Nintendo 64 version of what CryptoVoxels is going to look like, 5-10 years from now, where everything is really detailed and high res graphics and everything? Or do you think this is more like a Minecraft type of thing where it needs to be like this in order for it to be accessible to people? What are your thoughts?
So, like thinking about it in the context of VR, like virtual world, like anyone could actually like inhabit, go all in on, like get inside the screen, so to speak. If you're thinking about it like that, I guess no one really knows what people will actually prefer. Like, do they want like total high res recreation? You would fool yourself if you have the headset on and you would look around. You're like, am I in the real world or not? And you have to like fumble around to see like if you actually work out. No one knows if we will prefer that or if something like CryptoVoxels and like all its pixelated glory, if that's something that is like good enough for people to start inhabiting. I just think that compared to something like Decentraland or something like that, it definitely seems like it's easier thing to accomplish for definitely like a smaller team. So in that sense, like it's already starting to build up a lot of momentum. I was looking at some stats. They've had over like 130,000 people come and view the world. In terms of plots, there's like over 1,000 plots that people have purchased, around 300 unique purchasers. So not that many people actually buying the plots or doing anything in there. But that's a non-trivial number to inhabit like at least a neighborhood in a virtual world, right?
Right.
So if they're able to do something here and build this neighborhood out and into something compelling, I definitely think that it's a sign of something very interesting to come. Because if this is like the crypto art gallery version of a larger town or something like that, that would be built out into a virtual world, who knows what neighborhoods will pop up adjacent to the current CryptoVoxels world. But that's what has me most excited. This is actually a destination for crypto artists. Right. So it's not like super rare where it's like a marketplace where people are just buying and selling relatively impersonally without the social aspect. CryptoVoxels is a destination. It's like the New York City or Paris of the virtual world for crypto art. And whereas New York City or Paris or London or like Zurich, like these were cities that were very, very closely tied with specific art movements, and people literally needed to migrate and physically relocate to those cities to be a part of those movements. Like the virtual world could start a whole nother art movement, and people don't even need to leave their bedrooms, right? It's kind of mind blowing if you think about it in that broader context.
Dude, absolutely. I was thinking about that last night. So if you think about art in like the grand scheme of things, right? When like the Mona Lisa, for example, came out, it was, the Mona Lisa is not exactly like a, hyper realistic, drawing or painting or anything like, some of the insane skills that people have. But it was revolutionary for its time and has sort of stayed relevant. I guess I'm saying that to say, like, so a lot of the people who are creating digital art now are sort of people who are, I think of them in like the beginning of this game, right? You need some sort of computer skills, the desire to do something a little bit different. Some of it's amazing. Some of it's kind of rough, right? Because it's just not a very populated space right now. But I guess historically, if you look at famous pieces of art, a lot of those are pretty rough too, but they're just famous because they were the beginning of something. So I'm like, is Liberty, is he going to be like the Van Gogh of crypto art? Like, or do you think like this whole space is going to evolve way past that eventually and take on some new form? I just bought a piece yesterday from Art. These like cool, weird looking fish with goofy eyeballs. And part of me is buying it because I genuinely like it. Part of me is buying it because I want to support other people on Scent who are doing cool shit. And part of me in the back of my head is like, is this one of those things where like, 10 years from now, we're going to be like, yo, I got a 2019 piece of crypto art. You could check its date on the blockchain. What are your thoughts on that?
What has me most excited is the fact that there's so many legit artists jumping into this space. Like Liberty, he's a serious artist, like second, third generation artist. He started with sculptures. Like he does a lot of offline, like traditional art, but he's transferring that into the digital realm and doing amazing things. The piece that I bought from him, the color reference to CryptoVoxels, the color shaped ball bouncing off the wall. And
yes. That's one of my favorites, man.
100% one of my favorites. I'm so happy I own that. And then there's other people like Matthias C, like Coldy 3D. There's like legit artists who are getting in space, and they're understanding the power of being able to own your digital work and say that this piece is my digital creation. I'm only going to create one of those. It's a one of one, like rare, unique thing. You can do that and have such control that a lot of other artists are starting to really have their ears like prick up and say, really, you can do that like in a digital way? And they're hopping in. And I really do believe that like in the future, you're going to say like, man, I'm so happy I have that Liberty piece that I bought from a while ago, or that Matthias C piece, or that Connie Digital piece, that we scooped way back when Scent was just getting started. I 100% believe that will be the case. There are people that are starting to collect pretty seriously. I know Havo, the dude that's behind the Curating Crypto podcast, he's starting to get into it, as are a couple other people, pretty seriously. The collections that people are going to amass now, like this is the time for this space right now. And I just feel like it's not a particular movement. I feel like this is the birth of all the future movements of art that are going to become popular heading into the future. You know what I mean? Like this is everything.
Yeah. No, the throwing it on the blockchain is a game changer, just like you said. Yeah, totally. I mean, there's no counterfeiting, right? You can't you got all the information right there. So I have like sort of like a loaded question for you, and I'm a huge fan of this space too, and I've found myself I'm sitting on a bunch of different crypto art amongst like other NFTs that people have sent me or I've like scooped up along the way. So you've got all this crypto art. What do you do with your crypto art? Obviously, you're building this gallery, which sounds like amazing. But in the meantime, what do you do with it?
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point of CryptoVoxels. I want to start displaying it more,
Right.
right? Other than that, if you don't share it like in this gallery, you're just going to have it in your crypto wallet. If you have like trust, you can flip over to the token section. You can see your art displayed in little squares. That doesn't really do anything for me. I know that there's a couple other options where people can display it like on monitors, but nothing seems to be like streamlined to the point where like that's super convenient or like an amazing option. Like maybe if we have LED wallpaper one day where we can just display that, that would be dope. We're not there yet. So for me, the best place to display this sort of crypto art is a place like CryptoVoxels, where we have like-minded people over there and people are just trying to show off their stuff. I believe that we're not too far away from like an in-world reporter going around CryptoVoxels, like highlighting the shit there.
I'm sure, man.
Because,
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need to have any special software to go into the CryptoVoxels world. It's just that you need to like let people know about this VR art world gallery, like this amazing project for them to actually just click the link to go in. And once they do go in, a lot of people will have their mind blown. Some people will be like, what the fuck is this? It's low res, and they'll just
Right.
leave. But I mean, they would probably do that for anything. They probably did that for Bitcoin back in 2009, right? They're like, oh, what is this? Fuck that, you know?
Right. No, so in my opinion, this is like the missing link between like bringing crypto art to the common consumer, right? It's because the VR and that was my suspicion that the crypto voxels is pioneering the way to show off this stuff. But for like the everyday person who's not involved in tech, you go show them, you're like, oh, I just bought this piece of crypto art. Like, okay, what do you do with it? And I look at it on my phone. I'm like, this seems like a massive oversight. Like some developer in the DApp community or in the crypto art community should create some way where, let's say I'm in Trust Wallet or whatever, I click on this DApp and then I can Chromecast all my crypto art directly from my phone or beam it to a smart TV or something because, like my mom, for example, bless her heart, she's not like technically inclined. So if I, bought something that I would think she was really cool, it would seem like the logical course of events. Like if you really want to share this stuff with people, she's not going to understand crypto voxels, but she will watch it cycle through my crypto art on her TV if I could get it up there or something like that. Right. And it seems like, to me, I'm like, CryptoVoxels certainly has its space. I mean, they're doing their own thing, pioneering the, stuff in its own direction. But I'm like, to bring this stuff to mass market, like, how is there not a better way to show this? Right. Because I have a TV in my house that almost does nothing. Right. Because most of the stuff I watch is either on my phone or on my laptop because I got, ad block on my laptop or whatever. And so the TV is doing a bunch of nothing unless I stream something to the TV or I put my personal pictures up on the TV. And I'm like, how is this not a thing? I mean, is there like some stupid workaround that I'm like missing? Or is this like sort of like something that should have happened yesterday?
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be, I mean, if there aren't, like both of us, we could just be ignorant of the fact that there's a simple solution for that, for displaying the crypto art like on your TV like that. But if those solutions don't exist now, I'm sure they'll come to market sooner than later. But moving beyond just the simple like displaying of the digital art is the fact that if you hold particular crypto art from whatever artist, there's things that artist could do or like broader collectives could do that say, hey, anyone that's a holder of Matthias C's or MLibT's or Skeenies or Connie Digital's art come through to this exhibition. Only people that actually hold their artwork could come through. And then there's that next layer of engagement and utilization of this sort of crypto art that's feasible and possible that you just can't get with anything else. Like for regular real world tangible artwork, you can have it hanging in your house, but you're not taking that with you, right? To show someone else. You can take a picture of it, but no one really believes you, like you have like a Matisse hanging in your house. Whereas like, no, actually I have this MLibT piece, like it's here on the blockchain. I own the keys behind it. I can prove that shit, right? So that next layer of interoperability, I think that's a fascinating realm. And I know over in ETH Berlin, the Meta Cartel, they were doing some experiment like this where their tickets were NFTs. And there's a company called Mintbase that made these tickets. They collaborated actually with Love Art Hate, who was the person that did the ticket art. These were tickets, but they're also art. They could be used for getting into different venues in Berlin. So they're starting to do it, but it's still early days. But that's what makes this space so exciting.
No, it is, man. I mean, the early days are when you get in on stuff like this, because probably once, for example, once this option comes around the corner to be able to just beam it anywhere or like show it off on the big screen or something, that's probably when like everybody gets in the game and the price of this stuff really goes up. Right now, it's sort of like cryptocurrencies in a way. It's not super streamlined, it's not super mainstream, but that's when when it's good to get in on something, right? I was just thinking last night, I bought this cool fish NFT from Spontan Art. I'm like, dude, I want to see these fish bigger. Like, I want to put it on the big screen because it's dope. And you miss a lot of the details, unless you're fumbling around your phone, zooming in and everything. But, the ability to merge the two genres, like traditional art and crypto art, would be awesome. I'm sure there are workarounds, right? I'm sure you could download it as a, JPEG and then compile it in a folder and figure it out. But nobody's got time for that. Right? Dude, it's really awesome doing this with you. I appreciate the opportunity, and honestly, in like a totally selfish way, like wanted to pick your brain on like all this stuff that I've been mulling around for a while as I'm accumulating crypto art as well. So this has been great, man.
I think we're going to do it again next week, man. I hope that this is something that we'll keep doing for many, many weeks, months, hopefully years into the future, man. I'm floored by this sort of conversation, and it's a wrap for this episode of You Deserve a Drink.